Coming up today on the Raiders Report, Derek Carr, he is now a member of the New Orleans Saints. I'll give you my reaction to the move and how much money the Saints decided to pay him. Josh Jacobs, what's the latest on him? A domino fell today, and I'm wondering if that is going to be the domino that leads to Jacobs either getting that contract extension or signing the franchise tag. And then the final is more conflicting reports around Aaron Rodgers. The beat writers say it's not going to happen. NFL insiders say that the Raiders are still interested. I'll give you the latest around this situation. But there was some breaking news this morning, and I had a few Raider fans reach out to me and said, Mitch, are you going to make a video around D.C. going to New Orleans? Strictly a D.C. video? No, but I do think that you got to talk about it. He was the Raiders quarterback since 2014. He is the leader of basically every record possible from a career standpoint at the quarterback position. But what is interesting here is this. This is the move that I thought was going to happen all along. I will admit it is a lot more money because when you get $37.5 million, 4-year deal, $150 million, he got another no trade clause. Not that Derek's not a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback, but I do think when you see a deal like this go down, that's just, if I'm an NFL team, why am I going to pay a mediocre guy $37.5 million when I could potentially just draft a younger dude? I will admit, though, the reason why I have always said to me the front runner for Derek Carr going to the New Orleans Saints is Dennis Allen familiarity. He's going to have a chance to win some games because of how weak that division is. I mean, he is the top quarterback in the NFC South. If realistically, New Orleans, they could win 7, 8, 9 games, and they're probably going to win that division unless Carolina, unless Atlanta gets another top quarterback out there that can be able to compete with them. So I tip my cap off to DC to be able to get this deal. I tip my cap to Carr's agent because coming off of one of the years where he had one of the worst years he's ever had as a pro, and now you're looking at him as the 9th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. I will admit he is going to really drop down this list after guys like Joe Burrow. I think Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert. We'll see what the Lamar Jackson deal is going to be. So in not too long, DC is going to be probably somewhere on the 12th, 13th highest paid quarterback. My question, though, is this. And this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So when you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down and let me know. How many games will the Saints win with Derek Carr as their starting quarterback? I'm going to go with 8 wins, and I think 8 wins is still enough to win this division. We got to be able to face the facts. DC, fringe top 15, but what type of running game are they going to have? Is Alvin Kamara going to get suspended? If you don't have him as your back, that's going to hurt DC. Their receiving court's not good. Tight ends, wide receivers don't have a lot of options. Their defense is where this team needs to be able to win some football games. As long as DC doesn't turn over the football, they should be somewhere around 7, 8, 9 wins. If he plays good, they could get up to 10 or 11. If he plays the way he did last year, you're probably going to be around 7 or 8. Now, next thing coming up here is this. I am excited for Derek to have his new chapter, but now that finally he has signed with the new team, this is me telling y'all right now, we're done with the DC conversation. Let's move on. All I'm going to look forward to is playing Derek in 2024 when the New Orleans Saints, when they come to Las Vegas. I will, though, say hopefully Derek doesn't cross midfield in that game either. Now, this morning I woke up and I said these next 2 weeks, they're going to be wild and I can't wait. And when you get closer and closer to free agency, stuff just starts to happen. I mean, the card move today is the perfect example of that. So all I want you to do is this. It's going to get wild. The biggest month that the Raiders Report has ever had outside of the season was last March. Why? Free agency was crazy. I don't know if we're going to get another Devontae Adams trade, but I do know free agency is nuts. And anytime the Raiders make a big-time move, Jeremy Chuggs and we're going to be live, so I want you to subscribe. That way you don't miss anything. The way that the NFL works, though, it is a big either copycat league or a league that it takes one move to trigger another move to trigger another move. I do think the fact that you had Derek, he goes now to the Saints. That's going to help out some other quarterbacks make some decisions. Tony Pollard today, he got franchise tagged by the Dallas Cowboys at $10.1 million. That's in my personal opinion, going to start helping other teams figure out what they are going to do at the running back position. And the two biggest ones are Jacobs and then the New York Giants of what exactly they're going to do with Saquon Barkley. All I know is this. The Raiders have until 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow to tag him. There was that report that came out last week that said either the Raiders will tag him or that they will figure out a contract extension. Either way, if you do plan on rolling with a young quarterback, depending on which, beat writers and reporters you believe in, if you do plan on going with a young rookie QB, I really do think keeping Jacobs around is extremely, and I mean extremely important. Now, one of my favorite holidays out there, St. Patty's Day. I like having a good time. And Jeremy, we got to get some Guinness. We got to get some Irish car bombs. We got to get some Jameson. We're going to have a hell of a time on St. Patty's Day, even though you're not going to be here. You got something going on. But I do know this. Yeah, Seeps, who has got red hair, so it's perfect. It's 6'2" leprechaun who can ball. So this is the one thing, though, that I do know. I'm a type of person, when it comes to St. Patty's Day, I'm going to wear green. I just don't have a lot of green in my closet. That's just point blank simple. So right now, if you want to get something that's Raiders related that you can wear on St. Patty's Day, go to chatsports.com/RaidersGreen. You can get the t-shirt. These socks are going to go quick because the socks usually go a lot quicker than the tees. So we got an awesome St. Patrick's Day sale. Chatsports.com/RaidersGreen. Again, down in the comments and in the description of today's show. We've had a lot of green on the Raiders Report. I'm not talking about that, 420 fans. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And can this actually happen? When I think of all these Rodgers rumors, I think of a seesaw. It's just going back and forth, back and forth. Over the weekend, there was a report out there from Dan Graziano that said the Raiders are still in on a potential Aaron Rodgers trade. Okay, then today, NFL insider Mike Silver had this to say on the Rodgers latest. High-level sources at the Raiders and San Francisco 49ers, two teams who have mentioned as a potential trade options, have told me that making a run at him is highly unlikely. The reason why I say that this is important, though, is those are sources from the Raiders beat writers, which, yes, that's what they are saying. However, it's possible that the Raiders owner, Mark Davis, would spearhead a push for the quarterback with general manager Dave Ziegler likely feeling out the Packers to see what a deal would look like. But at this point, Rodgers coming to Las Vegas does feel like a long shot. And I don't disagree with the idea that it feels like a long shot, but Mark Davis is always the wild card in this situation. You go back and you look at a lot of the articles that Raiders beat writers wrote last season. Josh McDaniels is not the front runner. And then Mark Davis said, well, guess what? I'm the owner. Josh McDaniels is going to be our guy. I think what you're seeing again here is this. Beat writers are hearing one thing, maybe from McDaniels, maybe from Ziegler, but you got beat writers saying no chance it's going to happen, and now you got guys like Fowler. You got other options out there. Other NFL insiders are saying, yeah, there is still a chance left to be on the table. My question is, who do you believe, the beat writers or the NFL insiders? It's a tough one. Bottom line, Raiders, they don't let out a lot of information. Now, I will say this before I leave today. If you haven't already, really important, especially these next 2 weeks, give me a follow on Twitter. Going to be tweeting out not just Raiders content, but a lot of NFL content on top of that because of free agency, of the draft ramping up. And I always tell people, hey, over on Locals, I'll be live on Locals a little bit later on today, raidersport.locals.com. But then also Instagram. Instagram is a really cool platform where I can get to know people a little bit better. And over the weekend, man, I had a really cool FaceTime conversation with Troy. Troy hit me up. He goes, hey, my son, it's his birthday, which was on March 2nd. They were driving somewhere, but it was cool. I was able to FaceTime with Troy and his son, and I appreciate the fact that you take time out of your day to watch this. So hopefully you see this and you appreciate it. So, Troy, way to raise them right, man. So, again, another reason to hit me up on IG. I'm always trying to interact with people. All right, y'all, I got to get out of here today. It's a little bit of a wild day at Chat Sports. If anything else happens around the silver and black, we'll get you another video, so make sure you're subscribed.